a shame. Set your minds free, no locks and chains. Do what you love, roll the dice. 50-50, we cold as ice. One thing cold, but a penny turn red. Can't let that shit down in my hand, war gaming.
What's going on, guys? You have tuned into Hobby Homies. We are your weekly tabletop podcast. I am Shane. I'm hanging out with Fox.
Hello, friends.
And of course, we've got Churchy.
Hey, guys.
Today, we are going to give you some of our tips on how to speed up your painting.
That's it. These are our speed painting hacks, or rather just things that we do together. Not together. We actually do these separately.
Like other things. Alone.
Alone. We do these very alone.
Very alone.
But if you're also alone, miserably alone, and want to speed up your painting,
Welcome.
So let's get straight into it.
Let's do it, dude. Straight into it.
I expect if people are speed painting, by the way, we should preface this. This is our opinions.
We're not professional painters.
Not at all.
We don't even think we're good painters.
No, I wouldn't say that. I would say we are painters.
Yes.
And that's where we stand, and that's where we'll sit forever, probably. Oh, hello there.
Oh, hello there. Thanks, Sticker Mule.
Sticker Mule. By the way, we got new stickers. Check out the Hobby Homies merch store for that when they drop. Yeah, so these are just things that we do or have seen other who are professionals do.
Yeah.
But you're also, like, speed is such an objective or subjective term. It can mean a billion different things. It's ambiguous.
And it's not required. Like, you don't have to be a fast painter.
Yeah, correct.
You can paint as slow as you like and take as much time as you like, because only you really set your time frame, right? Like,
Yeah.
Sure, okay, you might say, I've got a tournament coming up.
That's
I need
it.
to have 2,000 points of whatever painted.
Yeah.
That's unfortunately, that's out of your control, right? But,
Yeah.
but I guess at the start, you signed up for that tournament, right?
That's right.
So
Yeah.
you set that time frame.
Yeah.
So
You're right. There are people who are going to do that every time because they like playing the game more. They just want to get the models on the table.
Yep.
So maybe this is an episode for those people. Also, people who maybe they want the accomplishment of seeing models finished, but they only get like an hour a week or less.
yeah,
So they're like, I want to take whatever shortcuts I can to get that model done. And
Yep.
that's a lot of what speed painting is, just finding where is the best place to take your shortcuts
absolutely.
while still being able to deliver a model that you are proud and
Yeah.
happy with.
Whether that's a shortcut in the process or a shortcut as a different technique.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
I think the thing I've noticed has helped me a lot is actually, I guess, speed painting tip hack number one
Yep.
is actually before you even pick up the brush.
Yep.
And that's planning.
Planning. Yeah.
So
right.
I don't have a ton of time to paint.
Yep.
But I do have a ton of time to think. So I've found that
You're
something
saying that you either shower a lot or
Yeah.
you yell the S word a lot.
both. Both. I mean, you smell me. You tell me. He doesn't shower a lot. He's never showered.
Heard of soap?
Luckily, my smell is not picked up through the mediums that we have chosen to use, unless it's that Futurama episode. Anyways, that's neither here. Yeah. So yeah,
Smelloscope.
the smelloscope. Planning.
Yeah.
So I have time to plan, and that's going to save me in the long run because instead of sitting down and I've got an hour and I've got to get all my stuff out and go, all right, which colors am I going to use where? And then I start thinking about when I have the model in front of me.
Yeah.
What I do instead now is while I'm at work or doing whatever,
Yeah.
not painting my minis.
On
when
company time.
on company time, of course. I'll pull up a picture of the model on the interwebs.
Yes.
On the interwebs via email. Go to AOL, Yahoo, whatever your preferred search medium is.
Bing?
Bing.
Internet Explorer.
Yeah, Internet Explorer.
Yeah.
Open up a few tabs.
Yeah.
And I'll pull up a picture of the model and I'll start going, all right, what colors do I want to use specifically? And what's my method going to be?
Yeah.
Am I going to airbrush it? If so,
Yeah.
which parts,
Yeah.
So I think you can prepare and plan for your model ahead of time so that when you're actually painting, you get so much more done because that's all you're actually just
Yeah,
painting.
you know what you're doing and when you're doing it.
Yeah.
Rather than trying to do it on the fly. I guess another sort of expansion from that is maybe in the planning phase, could you count a test model?
Yeah,
Test scheme, maybe.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I mean, the test scheme would be slower, right? But
Yeah.
you are doing it to plan for the speed painting job of the rest of them.
Yeah.
And I often do that. We'll paint the test model and go, that took me 4 hours.
Yeah.
Is it possible to cut this down and have it look like this?
Yeah. Yeah.
Like similar, if I do 10 models? Or am I just going to have to change my approach up? And I guess that is all part of the planning.
It's a different planning method, I suppose.
Yeah.
Rather than analysing it from a picture and then thinking about what paints you've got at home and how you might incorporate them or you might swap. You know, you're looking at this thing on Google, right? You're going, okay, I don't want to paint that blue. I want to paint it green. And you go, all right, what greens have I got at home?
Yeah.
You know, I've got this, and this. And you go, oh, yeah, cool, that'll work. And then, before you even pick up your brush or before you even get home, you know what and how you're going to do it. So, I like that. Something I probably should do more, I think. Like, think about painting when I'm not painting.
Yeah. I'm watching little techniques and stuff online to get you first hyped up for it, but also to see some other ways of doing, like, achieving the result you want to achieve. So that's something I would recommend just for everyone on any project. It's always going to help you for when you sit down and you actually just start doing stuff. You've already pre-planned, and look, it'll change on the fly, absolutely. And it may change on your test model, and it may look completely different from the planning, but at least it helped you get started. You know?
Gets the ball rolling.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So I reckon that'd cut out a fair chunk of my sitting there going, right, where am I going to start? Do I do the base first, or am I just going to end up overspraying onto the base and then having to do it again? So all that kind of stuff, thinking about at which order you do things in.
Some would suggest painting the base separate.
You could. Absolutely could.
That's another planning phase, I suppose, though.
That's it, yeah. Thinking about the base.
Yeah.
What the model will sit on then. Is it double handling, like, you know, pinning it, putting it in a piece of cork, painting it, putting it across.
And then you've got to build your base and drill it. And,
exactly.
Yeah, I like that. That's definitely something that I don't do. I don't really plan stuff. I normally just paint on the fly.
Yeah.
I'll pick up a model and just start stuff and paint on it. So maybe, I might try and implement that.
Good. Do it. Away with you.
Off I go.
I'll start planning now. All right, so I'm going to paint.
You're messaging yourself again.
Yeah. But I'm so lonely, as we've established. Yeah.
Yeah, nice. I like that.
What do you reckon? What do you got?
Man, so, okay, my first tip is less of a technique tip or something like that. I guess it's kind of similar to your planning, right?
Sure.
My idea is to figure out your hobby hotbar. Think of a video game, right? Like Minecraft or whatever. You've got a whole bunch of stuff down the bottom of the screen. Different tools and different stuff like that. Skills or spells if you're playing WoW or whatever. I like to think of my hobby like that, right? Like I go, okay, what have I got at my disposal? How can I do this? You know, like, and you know, and then I guess, so picking different things for certain models. Some things may not be applicable, right?
Right.
You might look at a model and it's got very fine details, so you go, okay, I'm not going to dry brush it.
Right.
Because you might have all different colors everywhere.
Yeah.
Dry brushing would be messy.
So you don't put that one in your hotbar.
Nah, that one goes. I don't need that.
Drag it out there. And
not that for this build. Something else. So you might go, okay, edge highlighting. Yeah, it's going to be tedious, but it's probably the only way to do it.
Yeah.
So, like...
and you're right, that does cross over with planning.
In a way, yeah.
Because you can go, all right, you look at the model and you go, all right, it's got this little spot down here that I can dry brush. I'll do that last. So I'll put that right at number 8 or whatever the last hotkey for your hotbar is. You're like, there's a lot of browns here and I've got a good brown stippling leather technique. So I'm going to drag that into 2 because I'm going to be doing that a lot.
Yep.
I like that you imagine you're painting as a video game. You've got like a heads-up display.
I like that too. Of course. The hotbar ideas.
Do you guys have a HUD? So I don't know. Like, I mean, it probably doesn't make sense to you guys listening, but like that's just the way I sort of imagine it. You try to think about what you have at your disposal, and how you may implement them on that project or that particular model. Things change model from model, right? Unless you're doing 100 clown rats. Like I saw your scheme the other day.
Yeah.
So then that's that same build or talent tree build is going to be the same, right?
Yeah.
You're not going to change it up. As soon as you start doing vehicles and characters and monsters and stuff like that, then it changes.
Yeah.
So,
I see. I like it. So, so if you're listening at home, you got your coffee, your beer, you're on the way to work, you're painting some models for White Noise. You are now preparing your hotbar.
Yep.
You're good to go.
Yep.
The biggest thing that everyone who tells you to speed paint will probably tell you is to pre-shade, aka zenithal, that bitch.
Zenithal, absolutely. Yeah. I have that here on my notes.
Yeah, which is, again, zenithal or pre-shading, same thing. You're just spraying you're sort of value sketching your model. So you've got you prime it in a darker color.
Dark black or grey or whatever color, and then you a top-down highlight directly top-down, mostly, with a lighter shade.
I often pre-shade at like 45s, just because like the
sometimes
quickest
a direct top-down doesn't quite get everywhere.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
And often I will go over this with just like a contrast or a wash or an ink, something super transparent over this pre-shade, which basically does all the work for you. Because it's opaque, or rather, opaque? I'm tripping. Transparent.
Opaque means you can't see through.
Yeah, correct. Yeah. So because paints are transparent in nature, especially these ones that we just mentioned, contrast paints, speed paints, washes, inks, they will show through all that pre-shading that you've done. You can take this a step further as well and spend all of your work on this pre-shade, sketching in little scratches or stipples or textures, so that when you go over it with these transparent paints, all that shows through underneath as well. And so you can do a bit of dry brushing, do a bit of pre-shading, throw in a few sketches, and then just slap on your one thick coat of transparent paints, and the model is done.
Now, pre-shading, people might think, okay, I'm not painting with washes or contrast paints or speed paints. I'm painting with regular, like, stock, standard, OG hobby paints, right?
Sure.
I still think pre-shading and zenithal is still a very important thing to do.
Yeah.
Not only does it give you that very subtle difference between painting on a black model or a white model, right?
Yeah.
Like your prime.
Yeah.
It also shows you where the highlights are going to be.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, like, you're looking at whatever you've zenithal primed.
Yeah.
And the point of a highlight is to paint where the light catches.
Yeah.
This naturally does it for you. So you can look at it and go, I know exactly where I need to put my highlights.
Yeah, for sure.
And then build up from there.
And you can also see stuff better.
You can. Oh, the details just pop.
Yeah.
You prime. I always prime in black, right? Always have. When I first started painting, I primed in white. I don't know why.
Yeah, okay.
Just did.
Yeah.
And then black was my go-to.
Yeah.
When you look at a model, okay, like a model from being grey to primed, you do find more details, right?
Yeah.
But then as soon as you zenithal highlight it, everything just comes out.
Yeah.
And everything looks amazing. Like the model just goes from a black or grey blob to like being
something with depth.
Something with
Yeah. And I have heard people who talk about contrast and speed paint say it takes just as much effort to do it because you have to be so careful, because they are so transparent. If you slap on a little bit of one paint onto the shoulder, which is later going to be blue, it's going to show through. So people are like, I don't bother. It's not actually any faster because you have to be so much more careful. Whereas the traditional method of slapping on your base coats, being real dirty because you can go fix it up with the other layers, and then throw a wash on and do some highlights. They're like, for me, that's just as quick.
Yeah.
I understand that, but this kind of goes back to that planning step where you go, all right, I'm going to start with my lightest colors first because, they're all transparent, but my Cygor brown or Wildwood brown contrast will cover everything.
Yeah.
So I go, all right, I'll put my darkest colors on last and use that to, and then I can, I'll be a little bit careful.
That's kind of an opposite as to more traditional painting method.
Correct, yeah.
I only paint my darkest colours first.
Absolutely, yeah.
Because, and then you can build up your lighter colours over that.
Yep.
So, yeah.
Interesting. And that's something that's helped me a lot because I was finding that. I remember I painted this Gene Stealer it was a neophyte hybrid. No, an acolyte hybrid. It's something with lots of arms, lots of detail.
Yeah.
And I probably spent 40 minutes on it,
Yeah.
just with contrast only. And I was like, it looks good, but it took me 40 minutes. And I've got in my my head army that I haven't bought yet, I've got 60 of these. So that's a lot of paint time.
Yeah.
And looking back now, I'm like, I could have chopped that down to 15, 20, exact same paints just by changing up the order.
Yeah.
Because I was being so careful that I didn't get anything anywhere.
Yeah. Yeah.
But if I had have done the orange last, because it like goes over a yellow part
Yeah.
and a light grey part, apothecary white, I'm like, it would have covered those perfectly. It would have known, you know?
Yeah.
So I guess that's where planning and knowing the paints and everything helps as well.
In that same sort of vein, you can look at things like underpainting.
Yeah.
Which is, I guess, a form of that pre shading, like you said.
Yeah.
Even using different colours and stuff that might go on, and then a contrast might go over them.
Yes.
To bring out different sort of very subtle tones and shades and stuff like that under that sort of finished paint job there.
Yeah.
Things like with like woods and stuff like that, using different colours below.
Yeah.
Yeah, I started doing it with like flesh tones.
Okay.
Started going like real, like obvious undershades or whatever you want to call it for the flesh, and then going over it with a contrast or a speed paint it was a scale 75
Quick shade or whatever
they call them.
Yeah. Okay.
Their version of contrast paint.
Sure.
And yeah, I was pretty happy with how it turned out.
Okay.
So,
yeah. Was that your zombies? Your fantasy zombies? Yeah, they look great.
Thank you.
So what did you do? What'd you go underneath it with then?
So just different GW paints like Arcadian Flesh. And it was more just like picking out like the obvious like recesses.
Right. Okay.
Because this wash was bright. Basically a wash. It's thin as.
Yeah.
This scale 75 paint. Went over the top.
Okay.
So yeah.
Another tip I just thought of as you were saying that is another complaint that people have about contrast. I'm not trying to sell you contrast. I don't give a shit what you do.
No, use whatever you want.
Yeah, use whatever you want.
Yeah.
But I mean, they are objectively just the speed painter's biggest asset.
Yeah.
You know, the ability to slap on a paint over some colors and have it be super transparent. So all your pre-shading's done all the work for you, but pulls into the recesses, keeps those dark, and separates at the tops and the peaks.
Highest points.
Yeah, to keep those
your
highlights.
Yeah.
But sometimes it's all the colors are quite vibrant.
They are. They really are.
You can almost look at something and go, that's contrast painted just by how vibrant it is.
Yeah.
And it almost has this, I won't say cartoonish, it's not the right word, but it doesn't have this ultra realism to it, you know?
Yeah.
Sometimes things are dark and gritty and contrast paints don't always do that.
No. But you can utilize, sorry to interrupt.
No, you're right.
You can utilize contrast paints as like a step.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to be the end result. You
Exactly.
can do a contrast paint, then you can dry brush over it. Or
For
you
sure.
can weather it, or you can shade it and bring it down again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's the thing that I found has helped the most is using darker contrast paints as my base coats.
Yep.
So instead of just like 2 thin coats, which I'll talk about later as another tip,
Yeah.
you don't have to do them. I'd throw one thick coat of a contrast paint, a darker one.
Yep.
Or sometimes even like a brighter, more vibrant one.
Yep.
And I would go over it with, I would do the highlights with using stippling or whatever.
Yeah.
Edge highlighting it, dry brushing it, whatever, with a more desaturated version of that. So if it's this bright, vibrant yellow,
Yeah.
I'd add some white to another yellow that's kind of similar and put that over the top, and it desaturates it so it doesn't look as vibrant.
Yeah.
And I do that afterwards everywhere, and it looks fantastic. Or even on parts where I've just done, instead of doing 2 coats of a brown base, at least I've just slapped on one, one thick one of a contrast brown, and then just do all my little etches and stuff over that. And so almost using contrast as base coats and your wash step saves you a bit of time. And then you just, if you want to, you can leave it as it is, but if you're like, that's too bright, pick out the most bright parts that are distracting you, desaturate them, and then boom.
Nice. Very nice. We've been mentioning dry brushing a fair bit.
Oh, yeah.
That was one of my speed painting tips.
Yeah, nice.
Tricks.
It's the technique of the contrast paints. Like
it really is.
It is what contrast paints are to something.
I'm having deja vu. I feel like we've spoken about this before.
Have we really?
I reckon, yeah.
There you go.
Reckon we did. We're coming back. We're doing full circle. We're coming right back.
There you go. Well, I mean, we're the same people as the people that did that previously.
But like, I distinctly remember saying this. Dry brushing is the first technique you might learn as a beginner.
Yeah.
Maybe. I don't know. I don't know if it's still true. Maybe not.
Maybe we've done
Doesn't
speed
it?
painting before.
Maybe we have. Should we just can this episode?
Let's do it. Hey, we should speed run this episode and end it now in true speed painting fashion. Finish before we've actually finished.
Yeah.
That's the ultimate tip. Speaking of finished, hey Churchy.
Nearly. Yeah.
Thank you. Thanks, Churchy. Dry brushing.
Dry brushing. Yeah, I've been doing a lot of dry brushing lately and over brushing too.
Yeah.
Trouble with dry brushing is sometimes it leaves a sort of a chalky result.
Yeah.
You know, and not a real clean, sort of neat
Yeah.
thing. And over brushing is even worse. Like,
Yeah.
that's good for terrain. You know. Or
Yeah.
maybe bases or something like that.
Yeah.
Which door was ajar?
Who left that ajar?
Well, you're looking at me. I didn't get the beers. I said I would get the beers, and then I walked into a different room, and then you got the beers.
I got the beers.
So in answer to your question, you.
I had the fridge jar. It was me.
It was me. Yes. You know, on that, I have seen people eliminate a lot of chalkiness and dry brush look using proper dry brushes.
Yes, like makeup brushes.
Kind of. Like more condensed makeup brushes. You know, some makeup brushes are quite puffy.
Poofy. Yeah.
These ones are like, you know, by like Artist Opus or the Army Painter or whatever. And they also have a little, it's like the little, what do you call it? Little wet sponge things that tellers use and...
for wedding stamps.
Yeah. Well, I guess for wet their fingers to deal with cash, but they
yeah.
use that a little bit.
Yeah.
You know, it's not like dipping it in water and then trying to dry it off. It's just adding a little bit.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. So, I mean, I've just watched their videos that have been sponsored ads for those
Yeah,
dry
yeah,
brushes, you know. But I think that can help. But then again, like you said, dry brushes, I won't say typically for beginners. Everyone should be dry brushing. It's such a great tool.
It's kind of one of the first things you might learn. Or it's one of the first things that you should try.
Yeah.
I think. You know, you'll see people glazing and blending and and stippling and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I reckon try dry brushing if you haven't yet.
Yeah.
If you've just started painting and you've done a couple of models or whatever,
Yeah.
just go for it. Like,
Yeah.
you really... it's hard to mess it up,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah.
And you can always fix it. You can cover it and start again.
I'll always remember the first time I dry brushed.
It's game changing.
Yeah, it was. I was blown away. It was probably one of the only times I've been happy with a model. It was like one of the little original Hobbit minis.
Yeah.
Back when the Hobbit did exist in a book, but you know,
Yeah,
it was
yeah,
Lord
yeah.
of the Rings still back then.
Yeah.
And they came out with a new set, and it had the Fellowship of the Ring or whatever, or at
Nice.
least all the hobbits.
Yeah.
And I was painting Frodo, and I painted him with just all the base coats. There wasn't washes back then, or at least
No.
I didn't know what that was.
Yeah.
And I was like, it looks okay. Like all the greens are green, but it was just one base coat.
Yeah, yeah.
And then I learned how to dry brush, and I just did it everywhere.
Yeah.
First thing I did was just grab like a white and like really and put it over, and I was like, oh my gosh, I'm a professional painter.
Yeah, yeah.
And then I even took it the step further the next time and put like a little bit of a light green and then did that on the cape.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh my goodness. And like it was easier than I thought it was going to be, and it yielded better results than I thought it was going to do.
Yeah.
So I'll never forget it.
Yeah. When doing your first try at dry brushing, just take out more paint than, like, you wipe the paint on a piece of paper towel, right?
Yeah, yeah.
You'll be like, okay, it's done. Just go a couple more.
Yeah,
just make
yeah.
sure. You can always reapply it more.
Of course. Yeah.
It's hard to take it off.
It's very hard to take it off.
Yeah.
Yeah. I need to dry brush more.
Yeah.
Because I think the biggest thing about speed painting and figuring out if it's something you want to achieve. I mean, most people would know.
Yeah.
They know, all right, I really want to paint this quickly. I don't play this game a ton.
Yeah.
I just want these models to look okay on the table. But if you're just like, oh, I don't know, like, yeah, I want it done quickly, but I also see these amazing things on Instagram, and I just like one day I want to achieve that.
Yeah.
That's fine. But something I didn't know about the hobby early is I'd see these incredible pieces and just be like, they're just like me, but with more experience. No. They're
That's
like me
all
with
they've
more experience
done.
and more time.
Yeah, for the last like 6 months, that's all they've done is paint that one model.
Yes, it's not uncommon for these display pieces that you see on Instagram by some of these incredible painters to take 30 to 80 to 100 plus hours.
Yeah, yeah,
So you sit down and you go, all right, well, I've really only got 2 hours a week
yeah.
to slap 100 hours on a model.
That's your whole year.
That's your whole year, and that's assuming you're already as built up in your talents as that professional painter is.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
That doesn't count for all the time that you're going to get frustrated and try and paint over a part or fail. So maybe if you want to do display pieces, of course, it's going to take you 20, 30 hours.
Yeah, yeah.
And it's just going to be a slog. And there's no way to speed... Well, there is a way to speed things up, but you'll figure that out on the fly.
That's it.
But if you're looking at an army and you want to paint... You see these cool images online and you think you're going to do NMM, non-metallic metals,
every
on all
single
of it.
troop, no.
It's possible, but do your math.
Yeah.
Do your time. Do your painting hour log.
Yeah. If you're just starting painting and you're looking at these models, you need to... We don't want to like discredit you or dishearten you, but you need to sort of start at the start.
Yeah.
You know,
Curb your expectations of what your models will look like.
Absolutely.
Originally.
Everyone's first models are not their proudest models.
Except for my Hobbit, which was incredible.
It doesn't exist.
Well, it's the best model I've ever seen.
Where is it?
It has gone to a different corporeal dimension. Yeah. I just kept dry brushing. After I got that hit of dopamine, I was like, I'm never going to stop this.
There's nothing left of it.
It's metal flakes in the ether.
Yeah.
It actually is holding up the universe.
Oh,
Yeah.
I don't
Congratulations.
paint much, but
Thank
I love
you.
dry brushing.
yeah.
Yeah. It doesn't even have models. Sometimes you'll just go around just dry brushing things.
I see a wall, like a corner on a wall. Yeah.
He tried to dry brush me the other day.
I saw it. It's illegal. I loved it.
It's assault.
It's assault. It was very soft assault.
Didn't
I
notice
wish I
to
had
start
a
with.
brush right now.
So we got a gift pack somewhere.
Yeah, floating around.
Yeah.
So yeah,
But dry brushing gets a bad rep because it's such a big... We have talked about this. We've definitely said this before. I was going to say...
it's all coming back to me, dude.
yeah. We've done this.
Have we run out of content?
This is it.
Have we run out of content? No.
People are like, oh, arguably years ago.
That's just 'cause
Content.
I like talking about dry brushing. I don't care if it's a beginner's.
Yeah.
I love it. It's
Hey,
so
you know
good.
what? We got new homies, and there is no way on God's green earth they went back and listened to our... Well, some of them did.
Some of them.
So we're updating it for you. They're like, wait, I just listened to this last week.
Yeah,
You deserve a gift back.
you do.
Yeah, dry brushing does get a bad rep because it's something you learn as a beginner, but it is such a useful tool for everyone and always.
I think even the most experienced painters still utilize dry brushing in aspects.
Yeah, they put it in their hotbar sometimes.
Sometimes.
Yep, for sure.
Yep.
I feel like it'll always be in my hotbar.
I think so too.
I think you've only
for
got
me.
3 slots in your hotbar, so...
He hasn't. It's because he's still got the trial pack.
Base code.
Yeah, he's on the... Yeah,
He hasn't
Yeah, I
bought the
haven't bought the
subscription yet.
yeah, all the DLC, which is...
There's so many.
Yeah, you purchase with time, and who has that? Something I have recently discovered, which has helped me pump out models. It feels like I pumped out models, but I actually haven't. And that is focusing. So when you look at a model, do I have one in front of me? Yes, I'll grab this little dude. So, I mean, for those listening, I'm holding one of my Infinity models. And you look at it, and the model is always going to have a spot on it that the eyes are just going to be drawn to immediately.
It's generally the torso and the head, is that right?
Yeah, and if you look at this one, it's like his helmet, his big 2 shoulders, and the wings.
Yeah.
So when I really did a good job on this. It's my favorite model maybe that I've ever painted.
How much dry brushing was on there?
0. Yeah, this was all stippling and...
Way to sell dry brushing too.
Yeah. Oh, no, it's garbage technique. Never do it. So what I did for this was I planned. So that was good.
Yeah.
The second thing I did is I enacted this technique of sort of taking as many shortcuts as I can on everywhere else except for where the eye is going to be drawn.
Okay. Yeah.
So on the wings, it's got like lots of scratches and detailing, and there's a lot of shading on the helmet and stuff.
Don't worry, for those listening to this, we haven't got a camera set up on this model. Fox is just
You're not
pointing
missing
at
anything.
it.
Yeah,
his
exactly. And like the top of the gun and stuff. So everywhere else, I contrast painted and did like maybe 2 layers of highlights and just kind of stippled and rushed.
Yeah.
From the waist down, it's rushed. But where I spent all the time, so half of it was on 80% of the model, but that last 20% I just enjoyed. Because you can really focus in, you get that satisfaction of getting good results, but you don't have to spend 10 hours doing it. You're only spending 20 minutes.
Yeah.
And so this model, I think, took me probably 2 hours all up. This isn't speed painting, but, you know, you kind of just got to wait up with your...
For a model for a skirmish game, 2 hours is still a reasonable amount of time.
Yeah, because...
that's still good.
Yeah, and I feel like in skirmish games, they almost need to just... The tabletop standard's a little higher.
A little bit, yeah.
They can't hide in a blob of 20.
No.
They're on their own usually. Or next to one other model.
Yeah.
So I feel like the standard needs to be a little bit better.
Yeah.
But the thing is, what's different about this 2 hours is I enjoyed all of it.
Yeah.
Because I got... You know, I sort of rushed over most of it, and I got the instant gratification of seeing what the model would look like in that first hour.
Yeah, yeah.
And I was like, I could put this on the table and be pretty happy with it.
Yeah.
But then I spent that last hour just really enjoying painting those focal points. Yeah. And really testing skills and blending highlights and whatnot. And then, it felt like I'd painted for half an hour.
Yeah.
So I don't know if feeling like you've painted for less is speed painting, but it was just a way of taking shortcuts where I knew I could and still spending the time just on those key parts.
I suppose in a way, like, you could consider it in a form of speed painting because there are parts of the model where I think everyone dreads, right? There's the ugly stages, things like that, where it's just like so easy to lose that motivation and that momentum, right?
Yeah.
You know, you're like up to one point which you might hate, but for me, it's like the final details. I hate it.
Yeah.
Because it just takes so long.
Yeah.
And at the time, it feels like so little.
Yes.
You know, all you're doing is highlighting panels or something like that, or just picking out the smallest of details.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh my God, it's been 20 minutes and all I've done is like painted a few like bolt heads or like, you know, rivets or buckles or something like that.
Yeah.
But if you didn't paint those, when you step back and look at it and you go, okay.
Yeah.
It looks like just blocked in and rough.
For sure.
So getting past those little hurdles is, I'd pay that.
Yeah, I appreciate that. I appreciate that because it does that. These are the first models where I've just gone, if it's below the belt effectively, or it depends on the model, it's different. You know, some just have big shoulders and that alone is enough. You just focus on those.
Or big below the belts.
Yeah, exactly. You never know what the model is.
When you're paying
and what they're packing. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But you can feel like if you're doing it from bottom to top, underneath in shaded areas, painting doing edge highlighting on your leathers or whatever, it feels like forever.
Yeah.
Feels like forever. Whereas doing it this way is like you kind of rush over that bit of a dry brush, over brush, bit of dab on some paint to the high thing, and then move up and just go and enjoy the process, I guess.
Yeah.
That's what's been working for me, and it's... I don't think I've really painted 3 models as quick as I did those 3 and had them to that same standard.
Yeah.
And I was happy with it, so...
Nice, dude.
Yeah. I think enjoying the process... I mean, time flies when you're having fun.
Absolutely. That's what I say.
That's one way to teleport through
Never
time.
had fun in my life, so I wouldn't know.
Yeah, well, you're dead inside, so... A single tear rolls down your cheek. Yeah. So, let me know, what was the last thing that you think you speed painted? Or the last few things that you've speed painted?
Yep.
How long do you reckon they took you up per model?
Ooh, okay.
And how did you achieve that speed?
So probably the best thing to reference from was some of these little metal archer dudes that I got in a little $5 trinket bag from Throw the Dice.
Trinket bag.
He's got like this like little like
Spare
tree
bits rack.
thing, right? It's a spare bits rack basically. And everything on there is $5.
Yeah.
Right? And I'm like, these guys look like Lord Farquaad. There was 4 of them in there, so I bought them, right? And they're just little archer guys.
Yeah.
So they've got their bow in one hand and they've drawn there's no arrow, nothing like that. Like they're just real basic, single cast.
Shooting air.
Shooting.
The airbenders.
Yeah, they are, yeah.
Shooting blanks, is that what you're going to say?
It's wrong. It's wrong. But like, so and I painted them. So I did what I've started doing.
Yeah.
I've never been known for it. But that was basing models and painting them together.
Yeah.
I used to always base them separately, right?
Yeah,
but these I'm like,
sure.
I'll just stick them on, put some texture paint on there, and see how I go.
Yeah.
So I did that, and it was fine. Anyway, so
did that open your eyes? You'd be like, oh, save so much time.
Kind of did. Yeah.
I'm never going to base
I
individually
started
again.
doing it for characters too.
Oh my gosh.
I turned into a monster.
Yeah. I don't like the new Shane. Bring back the ballpoint pen.
The pen is here. I primed them. Zenithal primed them.
Of course.
And then just started slapping contrast paint on there.
Yep.
For the most part.
Yeah.
And then picking out a few separate, like you hear with the quivers on their back, and the feathers in there.
Yep.
For the arrows, I just painted them normally.
Yep.
I didn't even wash them.
You
But they look fine.
Yeah.
They look good. I base coated them and then edge highlighted them.
Yeah.
And yeah, I reckon maybe 20 minutes per model.
Okay.
4 of them.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah.
So you were able to paint all 4 in an hour and a half?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's bases and everything?
Yep. Absolutely. Yep.
Awesome.
Yep. Paint the base and then again, like just dry brush the base, a thick wash,
Okay.
some grass tufts, and yeah.
What do you reckon the quickest model you've ever painted is? Do you reckon it's
Ooh,
those?
Probably them.
Because you've always taken your time.
It's just a bad habit.
Yeah.
At this point.
Well,
I used to spend hours on a single marine. Like,
Yeah.
I need 10 more of these suckers.
yeah.
Yeah.
You always would give me. I could never relate when you were like painting. Like you only started batch painting the Gene Stealer cults.
Yeah. Yeah.
You paint like 5 at a time,
Yep.
and it would take you like a week later. You'd be like, they're done. I'm like, well, I mean, of course they look incredible, but bro, you got so many to go.
Yeah.
That took you a week.
I used to paint sub-assemblies for my like Space Marines.
Yeah.
Just like the assault intercessors and
For
shit.
your 7 points a model neophyte hybrids,
Yep.
you did it with the heads off.
I did.
Yeah.
Yeah, I did. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Did you even do arms off?
I always do heads up too. Nah, I that was hard for me.
Yeah. Okay.
I overcame that
Yeah.
mental battle and I glued the arms on.
Yeah, nice. Gluing the arms on, speed painting tip. If you can't see it, don't paint it.
Exactly.
Just paint it black.
Exactly, dude.
Yeah,
Yeah.
for sure.
Yeah.
Wow.
So like a lot of things like I don't really know why I used to spend so much effort and detail on a single troop model.
Yeah.
You know? Like I would have so much more done if I had have implemented these different things
Yeah.
earlier,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah.
I don't know. But then like everyone's different. Like I never used to paint to a time frame. We'd play games with all of our models,
Right.
like all of my Necrons and all of your whatever you had at that particular week.
Yeah. Flavor of the month.
Flavor of the month.
Yeah.
Yeah, most of the time, grey. We didn't care. We were playing games, right? We're having fun.
That's it. Yeah.
And then you just paint them as we went. Like, you
Yeah.
know, next time we played a game, I might have a few Necron Warriors done and
Yep.
you'll have a new army.
Yeah, or a couple. And that was my biggest problem is that I would paint, I would always do a test model for that army, and
Yep.
I'd be like, oh, damn, that took me like 2 hours, and then I'd look at the rest of the army and be
I
like,
can't do 2 hours on each one of those 100 guys.
yeah, no way, especially
Yeah.
when this was like a troop, and I got some characters in there and
Yeah.
vehicles, and I was like, there's no way.
Yeah.
But it was because in my head, I wanted them all to look like the Instagram images.
Yeah.
Not knowing that they took 30 hours, I thought that was just something that took them an hour, but they were just way better than me.
Yeah, yeah.
So I was like, oh, I just need to put in the time. And like, I'm looking at display pieces going, oh, I want my entire army to look like that.
yeah.
And it's like, that's display painting and tabletop painting are so
separate.
different. Yeah, so different.
If you want that, unfortunately, you won't.
Yeah, yeah.
You can't. I don't know. Maybe you can. Maybe you're a wizard. I don't know. But like, I would just never even imagine having an army of mine that I've painted in that display quality.
Yeah, no way.
Like they're gonna be like above tabletop.
Yeah,
Great.
yeah,
You know.
yeah,
Unless it's something you've been working on for like 20 years.
yeah.
Yeah.
And then I think you'd get a different type of guilt because I imagine having that. I was like, what if I saved up, sold my car, something, commission painted, got like some professional to just like do an insane job on an entire army.
Yeah.
Anytime I'm not actively playing with that army, I
Yeah.
feel like that money is wasted.
Yeah.
If I'm
yeah.
sitting there painting orcs and I've got this commission painted Harlequin army or whatever,
Yeah.
I'm just like, and then what happens if I buy a model from that? Like I want to get a new unit.
Then you got to get it painted again.
It's like, oh, I better send it over because I can't match that.
And he's already painted your whole army in that display quality, and you've driven him insane. So now he doesn't do it anymore.
Yeah. Yep. Now he's moved away. And,
He's retired.
yeah. Yeah, off my paycheck.
Yeah, he's not commission painting anymore.
No. He was like, that's a nightmare. I'll never do that again. Yeah. So I think first analyze if you want to display paint or tabletop paint.
Yeah.
Don't even listen to this. I mean, it's too late now. I was gonna say if you want to display paint, but
Oh well.
go back in time, change your answer to tabletop paint, and enjoy.
Yep.
I remember I painted this guy, another little Star Wars Legion model I have behind us.
Yes. What do they call it? Pathfinder?
Yeah, this is a Rebel Pathfinder. This took me about 4 minutes.
Nice.
And it was a pre-shade, but the pre-shade was done with a color that I knew was going to be largely like a tan.
Yeah.
A lot of these Rebels have like tans and browns and earthy tones.
Yeah.
So I was like, instead of doing a black to grey or a black to white zenithal, I'll make it a black to tan.
Nice. How did that go?
Yeah, fine. I mean, what you see here is exactly what...
unpainted primer.
Yeah, exactly.
Is it really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's not washed or anything.
Yeah.
So it's done all the shading for me. I mean, it doesn't look...
true.
Up close, it doesn't look good. The face isn't even done, but I don't play Star Wars Legion.
He's tan. He's just got a pale complexion and probably lacking some sort of vitamin. I don't know.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, he's on a far-off planet.
Yeah.
So all I did was one thick brown on the brown with a little bit of a dry brush and then an overbrush. I did a quick ink on anywhere that was black.
Yep.
Because that's just an easy way. Black ink, oh my gosh.
Ink?
Just resets the whole,
I need to get around ink. I've never painted with inks before.
Oh, I'll give you an ink.
Okay.
Give you an ink.
Give me your ink, dude.
I will, dude. It's great. I did it just today on another model I was painting where I was just like, okay, I've painted over this. I've airbrushed, I've sprayed, I've done stuff. And all the parts I want to make black. But I don't want it to be like super black. You know, or I don't want to do multiple coats. So I'll just slap a thick old ink on there.
Nice.
And then I'll just overbrush with metals.
Yep.
And so this guy I did in a batch of like 10. And all 10 would have taken me a little over half an hour.
Although he's not quite done yet.
No, he's not. I haven't given him the old rim job, but I'll do that with a ink. Because I do all my rims with inks.
Oh,
Just one thick ink all the way around.
Never cease to surprise me, dude.
Because I haven't rimmed it, or because I have rimmed previous models?
Rim with inks.
Yeah.
I've never. I don't know.
Yeah, all of mine. Those, the 3 models behind you, the Infinity ones, inks.
Nice.
So, get around inks.
Get around inks.
Also, this week's episode sponsor is Inks. Just all brands of ink. They've all combined together to give us $1 each. And so now,
$7.
yeah, and a lot of ink. So enjoy. But yeah.
Yep.
I mean, if you're listening and you're like, oh, I didn't really learn anything, welcome to Hobby Homies.
That's our guarantee.
That's our guarantee. Well, we have many. We have many guarantees.
Yep.
That is one of them.
Yep.
Oh, I didn't mention you don't need to do 2 thin coats
No.
on your base coats. I was going to say that's something I've learned as well.
Yep.
But if you're new to painting, please do. Because you said about dry brushing, it's better to do 2 thin coats
Yep.
and have to spend twice as much time but having a good looking model than one thick coat of a base paint
Yeah.
that you've never used before, and you can't go back on that.
Yeah.
Unless you strip the model. You know, that texture from all the thickness, all the
Yeah.
that's going to be
The
there.
gunk.
The gunk.
Thin your paints is just such a bad meme these days, and people say it like I left a whole bunch of Facebook painting groups because of the toxicity to start with, right? But like people would paint something and they'd post it, and like the comments, man, were just like thin your paints. Like, I guess a lot of people try to help. They try to be, they try to give advice.
Yeah.
First of all, they just come across condescending or whatever, right? They come across like, they might not mean it, but it's so easy to interpret.
Yeah, for sure.
You know, so like, that's a big thing. And people just say it because they're dicks, right? People are dicks.
Yeah.
People are dicks. That's a Hobby Homies guarantee.
That's another guarantee. That's on the list. That's up the top.
That's the top number.
We're no exception. Number 2, up the top. Right up the top, but like not right up the top.
The top. But
Yeah,
anyway.
it's up there.
Anyway, so but like like without being into that meme and being condescending, thinning your paints and doing them in multiple thin coats is the way to go.
Yeah, for sure. Like if you're a new person.
To start with, yeah.
Yeah, definitely. And some paints are easier than others. What I mean is like you can put for some paint straight out the pot, slap it on your palette, pick it up on the brush, put it on your model, but you just have to make sure you push it around.
Yeah, yeah.
And you get that even coverage.
Yeah.
You know, because if you can see your brush strokes, it's probably too thick.
Yeah.
And if you can, oh wait, is that too thin? I don't know. Just like be good. Be good at painting.
And here we are condescending.
Yeah. I mean, you'll know. You'll know.
Yeah. Absolutely.
And if you don't know and you're cautious, 2 thin coats always safe.
Yep.
But yeah, if you want to speed paint, you'll learn the paints that you use, the brands that you use, how well they spread.
Yep.
I've noticed so many Vallejo. Are just straight out the pot, straight onto the brush, straight on the model, push it around, and it's just smooth. Smooth. Especially from their model color line. But anyways, anyways.
Well, yeah, so that's some speed painting tips and tricks.
Yeah.
Some of them speedy, some of them not so speedy.
Yeah.
I guess take from it what you will. There are obviously different things and different factors and stuff like that, which you may be unable to implement.
Yep.
Or you may not want to. You might not. You might look at edge highlighting and be like, I hate it.
Yeah.
I hate edge highlighting, right?
Yeah.
I like it, but you hate it.
Yeah.
You hate it.
Yeah. You hate it.
Yeah. So you're like, I want to dry brush everything.
Go for it.
Do it.
Do it. See if you love it. And if you do, bro, there you go. You've just saved however much time edge highlighting takes. And you could do that on the rest of your army.
Yep.
And you know what it's going to look like. And on characters, you might be like, all right, I'm going to try edge on this one.
Yeah.
Okay, no, still hate it. Dry brush. But you get better at dry brushing. And
Yeah,
you get it closer and closer to edge highlighting.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know?
Yep. So, yeah, we hope you guys have helping up speed your painting.
Yes.
It's not even words.
I don't even know if that was a sentence.
Helping up speed your
Hopefully we've helping you up to speed your painting.
Requires assembly.
Or it does require assembly. What, your brain?
Sentences.
So, I don't know what Churchy was doing.
I don't even know.
He's like, feng shui's all off in here. I need to rearrange some stuff. He's like, after Shane's small aneurysm, something needs to change in here.
Talking is hard.
Yes.
Let alone into a microphone and trying to sound like you know what you're talking about.
Like you're helping up people to painting speed.
Exactly. So you get
Hopefully we've helping you up. That is the goal after all.
That's it. That's the end goal. That's number 1, dude.
It's number 1. It's number 2. It's right up the top. Yes. Hopefully. Hey, jump in our Discord. Let us know if you've got any better tips. It's not hard. It's a low bar. So jump in there. Let us know.
Let us know. We've got the Hobby Corner, Hobby Lobby, all different channels where you can post your work and talk about what you're doing and your tips and tricks. And
if you're sitting there thinking, what's the difference between the Hobby Lobby and the Hobby Corner? Well, I'm glad you asked.
Heaps.
One's right at the top, one's number 2.
You can find links to the Discord on hobbyhomies.com. From there, you can also find links to our merch store where you can get yourself a t-shirt like this, the Outflanked, or a Beers and Banter, as Fox is wearing. All merch sales goes to helping us support the channel.
I thought you were going to say a charity. You made it sound like a charity. I mean, it is.
We're a charity, right?
You're like, all proceeds go to us.
It goes right into our wallets.
Which we use on beers. Salute.
The money goes out quicker than it goes in. But it helps us make the channel better and provide more content and battle reports and all that sort of stuff that we're doing these days.
Except this is a bad example because obviously we've done this episode before,
This
apparently.
is a copy and paste, I think.
Yeah. I wish, if I had known, I would have gone back and just taken all the tips.
True.
So,
I'm sure they were better.
Wouldn't it be funny if we went back and listened? And
exactly the same.
Exactly the same.
Yeah.
Anyways, I digress.
So check out hobbyhomies.com.
Yeah.
Like and subscribe. If you're watching on YouTube, that means a lot. It helps us grow as well, and it exposes us to more viewers like you, more homies.
Yeah.
Also, check out Binge-Worthy Breakdown, a new podcast on our network, the Hobby Homies Network.
Absolutely.
They are getting through Brooklyn Nine-Nine, Season 1. Episode 3 will be coming out very, very soon.
Great name, by the way. Way better than Hobby Homies.
I didn't think of it, and neither did you, so that's definitely not ours.
Yeah.
Kate and my lovely soon-to-be wife, Caitlin.
Yeah.
Like you got the names around the right way.
I was going to say,
it
it felt like you were stalling for time to remember the name of your fiance. You're like, and my lovely, beautiful, amazing...
She's there for me all the time.
Yeah, I couldn't stop thinking about my favorite person, Caitlin.
We don't need to name her last name.
Yeah.
You don't even know. So, yeah, check out Binge Worthy Breakdown on Spotify, Apple, or wherever you find podcasts, not YouTube. Yeah.
Absolutely.
And, of course, a massive shout out to our patrons.
Thank you, patrons, for all your money and love.
Yes.
And also... money.
Money.
You're amazing. We couldn't do this without you. There's no way we can ever thank you enough. We try to on every single episode.
Shout out the homies, the OGs, and the goats. God damn it. As always, we've got Burnsy, Whack, Fallen Dinosaur, MJ, Lethal Moose, Penny, Gridlock.
And we got Elko, Churchy, Rad, Ollie, Hockers, Aggro, Foggy, and Big Roach.
And we've got Jack from Battle Maps.
We got Jack from Battle Maps. Thank you, Jack. You're also amazing. Most of you, if not all of you, are in the Discord looking at the names. That's basically the Discord. And all of our other homies in there. You're all incredible. Please.
Of course, absolutely.
Any way you can interact with us, we love it. It's amazing. Some of the lifelong friends we've made from this podcast. Can't thank you enough. And we'll see you next week.
Hooroo. Hooroo.
Woo! Big up to the boys, Fox and Shane. Set your minds free, no locks and chains. Do what you love, roll the dice.